Using you lot as a very, very tiny test audience while I need to fix on the second draft. Because this is a story finished writing at about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be published in the Guardian newspaper. They're doing some fiction. And after I sent it off to the nice man at the Guardian, he wrote to me the next morning saying, I do have some editorial questions, and I suddenly realized I hadn't even read it. I thought, don't do this. And his first question was, he said, it's called Sailorboy ... Is that the title? And it's like, no, that's just the name of the file. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, I forgot to give it a title. So it doesn't have a title yet, either. I have to give it one today. So,
I know that feeling.
Here you go, a very short story. The Thames is a filthy beast. It winds through London like a snake or a sea serpent, and all the rivers flow into it, the Fleet and the Tyburn and the Neckinger, carrying all the filth and scum and waste and the dogs and the bones of sheep and pigs down into the Thames, into the estuary, and from there into the North Sea and oblivion. It is raining in London. The rain washes the dirt into the gutters, and it swells the streams into rivers, the rivers into powerful things. The rain is a noisy thing, splashing and pattering and rattling the rooftops. If it is clean water as it comes from the skies, it only needs to touch London to become dirt, to stir dust and make it mud. Nobody drinks it, neither the rainwater nor the river water. They make jokes about Thames water killing you instantly, and it is not true. There are mudlarks who will dive for thrown pennies and spout the river water, shiver, and hold up their coins. They do not die, although there are no mudlarks over 15 years of age. The woman does not appear to care about the rain. She walks the Rotherhithe docks as she has done for years, for decades. Nobody knows how many years because nobody cares. She walks the docks or she stares out to sea. She examines the ships as they bob at anchor. She must do something to keep body and soul from dissolving their partnership, but none of the folk of the dock have the foggiest idea what this could be. You take refuge from the deluge beneath a canvas awning put up by a sailmaker, and you believe yourself to be alone under there at first, for she is statue still and staring out across the water, although there is nothing to be seen through the curtain of rain. The far side of the Thames has vanished. And then she sees you. She sees you and she begins to talk, not to you, oh no, but to the grey water that falls from the grey sky into the grey river. She says, my son wanted to be a sailor, and you do not know what to reply, or how to reply. You would have to shout to make yourself heard over the roar of the rain, but she talks and you listen to her. You discover yourself craning and straining to catch her words. My son wanted to be a sailor. I told him not to go to sea. I'm your mother, I said. The sea won't love you like I love you. She's cruel. But he said, oh, mother, I need to see the world. I need to see the sunrise in the tropics and watch the northern lights dance in the Arctic sky. And most of all, I need to make my fortune. And then when it's made, I will come back to you and build you a house. And you will have servants. And we will dance, mother. Oh, how we will dance. And what would I do in a fancy house? I told him. You're a fool with your fine talk. I told him of his father, who never came back from the sea, and some said he was dead and lost overboard, and some swore blind they'd seen him running a whorehouse in Amsterdam. It's all the same. The sea took him. When he was 12 years old, my boy ran away down to the docks, and he shipped on the first ship he found, to Floras in the Azores, they told me. The ships of ill omen, bad ship. Bad ships, they give them a lick of paint after each disaster, and a new name to fool the unwary. Sailors are superstitious around. This ship was run aground by its captain on orders of the owners to defraud the insurers, and then all mended and as good as new. It gets taken by pirates, and then it takes shipments of blankets and becomes a plague ship crewed by the dead, and only 3 men bring it to port in Harwich. My son had shipped on a Stormcrow ship. It was on the return journey, with him bringing me his wages, for he was too young to have spent them on women and on grog, like his father, that the storm hit. He he was... They said they drew lots fairly, but I do not believe it. He was smaller than they were, and adrift in the boat, they were so hungry. And if they did draw lots, they cheated. They gnawed his bones clean, one by one, and they gave him to his new mother, the sea, and she shed no tears, and took them without a word. She's cruel. Some nights I wish they had not told me the truth. They could have lied. They gave my boy's bones to the sea, but the ship's mate, who had known my husband and known me too, better than my husband thought he did, if truth were told, he kept a bone as a keepsake. When they got back to land, all of them swearing my boy was lost in the storm that sank the ship, he came in the night, and he gave me the bone for the love there had been between us. I said, "You've done a bad thing, Jack. That was your son that you've eaten." The sea took him too that night. He walked into her with his pockets filled with stones, and he kept walking. He'd never learned to swim. And I put the bone on a chain to remember them both by late at night when the wind crashes the ocean waves and tumbles them onto the sand and the wind howls around the houses like a baby crying. The rain is easing, and you think she is done, but now for the first time she looks at you and appears to be about to say something. She has pulled something from around her neck, and she is reaching it out to you. "Here, would you like to touch it?" You want to pull it from her neck, to toss it into the river for the mudlarks to find or to lose. But instead, you stumble out from under the canvas awning, and the water runs down your face like someone else's tears.